You're about to listen to the award-winning Stuart Pedasso Show. This show is for biologically and emotionally mature audiences. If you should not be here, please go away. We'll still be here when you're mature enough to partake. Mwah!
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to
Hello.
the Stuart Pedasso Show. I'm Dave.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Carrie.
I'm a sleepy Dave.
I'm
And
Melissa pouring a beer right
Yes,
now.
and we're going to get right into beer if that's okay. We'll get to other smally
Yeah,
talk
we're
kind of in a
gonna
minute.
pour a
It's
beer right
dark.
Yes.
Very
So
dark.
The reason is, so in my travels
Great
this
name.
week as a candidate, I was at a meeting, a community meeting for the Monroe Avenue Economic Development Committee. I just butchered the name, but you get the point. And it was in this back room of a local restaurant brewery. And I'm not going to say the name if that's okay. For right now, anyway.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't
we'll
see
get
why
to
you
it.
wouldn't.
Well, you'll see in a second. We'll see.
Okay.
So, it was an interesting space. It was in the old Abundance Co-op. It's in the, and I kind of forgot about it. I kind of knew it was there, but I forgot all about it. And so it was I went for this meeting, and I didn't eat, but the food looked good. I would like to go back and eat. And they have all these different, and they had a lot of different kind of beers. Now, I think they could label their cans better, like what kind of beer it is or what it's supposed to taste like or whatever. You had to look on a chart, so I actually had to go put my glasses on to read this fucking chart. So I figured, well, they hosted this party, and so it would be nice, and I would buy a 4-pack. That was not the cheapest. That was a $20 4-pack.
Yeah, their beer is not.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't talk about beer, but I've had their beer. I've had several of their beers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
before.
that. Okay.
And I've talked to at least one of the people that work there. And
I do want to go back and try the food for sure and try a different beer. So go ahead and tell me.
Yeah,
that is a Belgian stout, which I'd never heard of before.
so Belgian stouts, they do tend to be at the lower ABV, and this one's 5.7, which is good.
Yeah, get a little bit more in front of the mic, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The ABV on this one is 5.7. So that, to me, that's usually about where I like to be when I'm drinking alcohol in my beer. So I'm excited.
Oh, good. Okay.
Is that high or low?
It's low.
It's
Low to mid. Low to
yeah,
mid.
it's just a hair over low.
Low.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
They had other ones in like the 7 and 8%, and that just tastes a little much. That's for me.
I mean, 7%. I mean, I won't lie though.
depends.
I did
Sometimes
have. There's this one. Well, it's from Belgium. Chauffeur. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Let's say chauffeur.
Chauffeur.
Sounds like it.
Anyway, they
You need
do a cherry.
You
They
need
do
a
a
chauffeur
cherry
when you're done drinking it, pretty much, right?
They have a cherry. They have their cherry one is out right now, and I got it, and it's 8 point something percent, but it does not drink like it's that. It is the alcohol is very hidden.
So how do you
This
feel
is
about
good.
the beer? Do you? Well,
I like so this has got orange peel and cardamom.
then you can have the other two.
You didn't care for that?
No, I picked
Or is
up.
it too whatever?
I picked up at the end an aftertaste of
Mm-hmm.
tire. And I was like, and I'll be honest with you, as I got towards the end of the beer, I didn't get as much of the tire. I'm going to use the dude's vocab. I didn't quite get as much of the tire profile. He used profile.
Okay, so I will tell you, and I can't see
I like that.
which hops are in this. I'd have to look. There is a type of hops that
Tastes like rubber?
That's like kind of a rubber kind of. It's more the scent of rubber, but when you drink something, you do get a little bit of that. But then there's
I was like-
certain hops that smell like cat pee. It smells just like you don't like those kinds of beers anyway. But for me, when I smell, I know it's gonna.
You're
smell,
right.
Doesn't sound
Are you
appetizing.
shocked?
I
Are
know
you
it's
shocked?
weird, but it's like one of those weird things. It's
No, please, no cat pee for me.
It smells like cat pee, but when you drink it, it does not taste like cat pee.
It sounds like the beer
It's
that
really delicious. It's just a weird. It's just
is that
scent
the
of
Yeah,
beer?
I'm gonna stick with mine. Thank
is
you
that the
very
beer
much.
that Ron Burgundy had when he ate cat poop?
I don't know. Do you want to eat that cat poop? I will not eat that cat poop. Oh, that movie is so great.
So I had it, and I'm glad I bought it. I'm a small bit. You can if you like this. I'll say it's Strange Bird. That's fine. And again, and their food looked good. And
Yeah, and I think
I
it's
will
just a personal
totally
taste.
try a different
Yeah, just try
beer.
something else.
They have many varieties, like many,
They
maybe
do.
too many. I'm
They have a
almost
lot.
wondering
They
if
have a lot.
or maybe they're overreaching. They ran out of ingredients. They had to slip in a tire.
I'm telling you, Dan and I were just talking about this yesterday, and I don't remember exactly why we were talking about it specifically, but we were talking about. Oh, I don't know. I think we were watching something, and they said it smelled like something, but then it tasted like something else. And I was like, I don't think I could get past that. And he goes, "What are you talking about? You drink
Cat pee.
beer
cat
that
pee
smells
beer.
like cat
Rubber
pee."
cat pee.
I was like, "That's true. I do." So it's
well,
weird. I don't know.
If you would have said, "Nah, not really," I would have. All right, I'll.
and it's
I'll
kind
do
of roasty. Like I
No,
can
I
taste
got-
the roastiness.
Look, I liked it, especially when it first hit my tongue. Now I'm really going to sound pompous, but when it first hit my tongue, I was
Tastes like
good.
peeled rubber.
It was that thing at the end, and I'm like, oh no, that's really not. No, that's not something I want in my mouth.
No, I'm getting something like
Peeled
very
rubber?
roasty.
Oh, I thought you were going to come back with like that's what she said or something. No.
Couldn't. Oh, dang! I
do it,
totally
Jason.
missed that.
I know. I
Totally
just
gonna do
figured
that.
you were
That's
gonna
what
do
she
that.
said.
Brah.
Oh, wait, don't discriminate. That's what he said.
That's what
Don't
he
discriminate.
said.
Yes, don't discriminate.
That's what they said.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, we
That's
can
that's
do
what
other
they said,
things.
yeah. So, and by the way, I got a. I know I can say this on the show. I got a text message this morning, today, I don't know, whatever it was. It's hard to tell if you text me on a school day. You may text me at like 8 a.m, but it might not hit my phone until like 2 p.m,
Right,
Or when
so-
I get to the parking lot. So
Right. Like,
Oh,
sorry,
you're
I
in a
didn't have
dungeon.
time. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
kinda. I'm in an above ground dungeon.
Oh,
So
nice,
that's-
nice.
So anyway, I was texted today by GLB who say, "Look what I bought," and he took a picture of a big stack of 12 packs of goat.
That's adorable.
Right. So I was like, "Hey, we got ours for the show," and so I don't know if you're going to keep drinking that, if you're going moving over. We got
I'll go
Jenny,
do them.
yeah, we got Jenny Bach, and which I am finding. I was hoping it was just a 1 year thing now because I had a couple during the week. No, it still gives me a headache a little bit, but then, whatever. But it tastes so good though. I like
know.
it so much.
I know you do.
It's worth it then. How long's the headache
I don't know.
last?
Maybe just take a
Tylenol?
little Tylenol. With it.
Well, you're supposed to not mix that
Pre-Tylenol?
with.
Oh, that's true. You're not
With-
supposed to do that.
Right.
You're not supposed to do
No,
that.
it'll be
Advil?
it'll be fine for now, and then like tomorrow morning, along with my morning med regimen, I'll just
take
slip in a couple of Aleve. I'll be all right.
There you go.
I'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Look, caffeine.
What's it's the
Caffeine.
Look,
Open,
caffeine.
open the cal.
the Mitch
capillaries.
Hedberg joke.
What's that?
It's the Mitch Hedberg joke about wine. She was, I was drinking red wine, and this girl says to me, "Well, doesn't that give you a headache?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, at the end." He goes, I don't not eat an apple because there's a core in the middle. I like the beginning and the middle. All right, butchered it a little bit, but you
little
get
bit.
the point. Yeah, you get the point.
Ah, Mitch Hedberg.
It actually makes
That dude
sense.
was so funny.
Yeah.
God, that guy was funny.
So,
Funny dude.
So I do have a lot of little things about my campaign. There's just interesting observations. That's all, and we can get to that. But I do have a school thing, and it's kind of close, Carrie, to what we were talking about downstairs before Melissa got here.
Okay.
I'd like to tell you about something that happened this week. I can't get into specific details because it involves kids. But let's just say there was this group of kids one morning that that pushed my button. And when I mean that, I mean kids are always in my school. Kids are always dicks to us. Whatever. I mean, I'm getting told to fuck off every day and whatever. But they did something, and it wasn't even toward me. In fact, that's the button. They were specifically mean to a person who is in a mental health crisis at the moment.
Oh.
And that's my trigger.
That's definitely a
Yeah.
trigger for me as well.
Yeah. So, and a lot of times, and I actually didn't react to it, and I was not because of that, but I was happened to be moving away from it at the time anyway. But then I ended up having to come back just because it's part of my job, not to deal with that. And they were still talking about that kid, even though the kid wasn't there anymore. And I kind of said something, not inappropriate, but it was obvious I was annoyed. And I just wasn't going to take their shit.
You were not being like fun Mr. A.
I was not I was not the chill
Yeah.
teacher, as I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
called. Right. And there was a couple other staff, and she was supposed to be there anyway for the class that we were doing. It was more like what they call group kind of thing, kind of like a social emotional learning session or whatever. And she turned around to me and said, "Hey, Dave, if I got this if you have other work that you need to get done. And I did, actually. I had some paperwork for one of the speech therapists, and I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And I gathered my things, and I walked out, and I went over to the resource room, and I sat down, and I did that paperwork. It took about 5-10 minutes, and I finished it, and I put it down, and I went, holy shit, I got tapped out. Now, you know that term, right? But so usually in the mental health field, if you're in a conflict cycle with someone and you can't get out of it, you can be tapped. They call it tapped out. And think of it like tag team wrestling. You got to touch the person to switch out. And when I worked at this one place, it was mandatory. Even if you thought you were doing okay, if someone came and tapped you out, you left, and then later you guys can figure it out. And if you didn't leave, if someone tapped you out, your ass was in trouble. Even if the person who tapped you out was wrong. It's like, you figure it out later. If someone was worried and tapped you out, leave and we'll figure it out later. And so, but the funny thing was, in my career, which is decades of working with kids and troubled kids, and in whether it's residential or educational or even recreational, whatever, in all these settings, I've never been tapped out before. I'm always the tapper, not the tappee.
Really?
Right. So I'm like, and I didn't even realize it till like 10 minutes after I did another task. And then I had a minute to chill for a second. I went, I just got tapped out. Like a delay. It was like, it was just
A delay realization
and I wasn't
of
mad.
the tap.
I wasn't mad. And honestly,
No, it was I'm sure it was the right
Oh,
thing to do.
I always I'm always thankful when I get tapped out.
oh, I did.
yeah,
I did later.
When it happens,
I did.
when you realize it, and you
I know
wait,
I
that
need to
was
be
the-
tapped
Actually,
out.
I can actually. I'm going to tell this part of the story, but I won't mention any names. This isn't about the kids.
I don't teach children, but I've been tapped out for other.
Yeah.
But I mean, in retail, you get tapped out.
Sure. Oh,
Same
I can
thing.
imagine. Oh my God, I can imagine. This.
I get too emotionally
I
involved
would
with the kids.
totally be fucking tapped out if I were.
Too
Yeah,
much.
definitely we have
I think
tapping
I
out.
get too emotionally involved with my kids that I need to be tapped out. That's where I fail sometimes, is I get too attached, I think, to my kids, and I need to, and that's where I need
That's
to
when you get
learn.
the tap out.
Yeah, I need to learn to remove myself sometimes with some of my kids. I've learned it now that I'm a little bit further in my career, but in the
on
beginning,
the show,
I
I don't want to ask. I don't want details, but I actually in a meeting once. It was kind of a CSC meeting, Committee on Special Education. We were trying to decide if one of my students was going to be classified to get services, and they didn't want to pay for it. The school didn't want to pay for it, and I was not having this, and the person who was chairing this said, well, we all agree that she doesn't need anything. And I went, wait a minute, we never talked about that. And the mom was there. So the mom's confused. I'll admit it was mildly unprofessional, but it was unprofessional for the chair to
Right.
talk for me.
Yep.
And so, but I just wasn't having it.
Right.
And afterwards,
Good on you, man.
And afterwards in the meeting, she goes, Dave, you can't take this you can't be so involved, and you can't take this so personally. And I'm like, I didn't say it out loud.
But I can, actually.
No, I didn't say it out loud, but it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be working with kids.
Yeah, right?
You know?
Exactly.
So anyway, another person who was in the classroom at the time, staff-wise, he's in my... It'll be boring if I explain the whole structure. But anyway, she was there too, and she's in my school right now. There are a lot of burned out people, and there's some people who don't, not on purpose, and I'm sure they are outside of school or used to be very nice people, but you can't talk to them about the weather without it getting toxic. Like there are some people I will avoid even say good morning to because it will turn into them bitching about something. And they do need to get out, but whatever. It's not my place to say that. And so this is one of the people who was in there. So about, I don't know, halfway through the day or something, we got an email from the principal saying, hey, can you guys come by my office after school? I want to talk to you about what happened first period. And usually, because I trust the principal, and if there was a real problem, she would just come to me and not send that in an email. But happened to be in another class with that same person. Just, it was a fluke. It's not always that way. And she just starts, oh my God, I can't believe we're in trouble, and that stupid counselor, and just went on this toxic thing and actually influenced my thinking. And I went the rest of the day thinking I'm getting in trouble. That I got tapped out, so I'm gonna get it now, or I'm gonna get yelled at, or something like that. And no, the principal just wanted more information about the shitty stuff those 3 kids did. But the rest of my day was ruined because I assumed I was getting in trouble because I let this toxic person influence me when I knew better. But just because I had a moment where I didn't think it through, I just listened to all of her shit in my ear, and I just let it. I let my brain just assume that she was right and that I was going to get yelled at. So that was an interesting lesson I learned.
Huh.
So now I try to avoid her too.
So how do you do the balance, though? Because it's good to vent a little bit about work because you can't
I
have
do
that.
it too.
Because
Yeah.
there's also toxic positivity.
But
There are people that if you ignore the crap they're doing to you, that's not good either. Because everybody wipes a smile on their face, like, yeah, and the people are treating
Well,
you
no.
like crap and making it, and all you do
So-
is like wipe a smile and let them do it to you. You can't do that either.
No, there's another.
So there's a balance.
There's
right?
another person who's always toxic no matter what. And there's been I have to pick first of all, I have to decide on my mood.
Right.
If I can do it.
Yeah.
And then if the situation's right where hey, maybe you should think of it this way.
Yeah, right. That's what
And-
I've been doing lately.
And it's somebody who I've known for a while and I've actually worked with. And so, I'm comfortable doing that. But sometimes I'm not changing this person, and this is not. I can walk away. Like I'm not stuck in a
Or
classroom.
you just, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Hey, squirrel. And I walk
Yeah.
away.
At least
So-
it's sunny.
Yeah. So I got
At least
tapped.
the sun's out
So
today.
I got tapped out. It took 58 years, but I got tapped. Well, I'm sure when I was 2, I got tapped out.
There you go.
I'll have to ask my mom.
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Oh, God.
I feel, yeah, but just having the acknowledgement.
Tapped out, timeout.
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of self awareness with realizing that, I needed to be tapped out.
Oh yeah. Oh,
It's
and,
it's definitely, it could be a definite positive, beautiful thing for sure.
I am not saying that I've never. Well, I'll just stay with the lingo. I have totally tapped myself out where I need to step away. I have said that, but there are people who don't realize that because that's what they call getting caught in the conflict cycle. I used to teach that, so I kind of have a little bit more awareness than your average bear.
Right.
So I used to work when I
yeah,
co-ran
you
a
worked, I was
cottage.
going to say, you worked at,
Hillside.
I was going to say, I
Yeah.
didn't know if you, yeah, so that's something you're trained at, and that's, but not
Yeah,
all
but
teachers know that.
But even then,
going in.
yeah, but even then, staff who've been trained didn't do it. You can be trained in it.
Agreed.
Doesn't mean they're going to do
I've
it.
worked at working at North Haven and
Yeah,
those
yeah.
detention facilities. There's a lot of people that go in there not knowing that, and they'll get into that power struggle with a kid, and it's like, come on.
But
you
even
know
the ones
better.
who have been trained,
You know
right?
better.
So
Come on now.
Oh, I've worked with staff that they've been trained. They still do what I work with them. They're just not changing, and they don't tend to last for sure.
Well, not in that type of situation.
Yeah,
not in
so I
those
mean-
type of places.
Right?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. No. They
You gotta.
they go explore the wonderful world of fast food usually. I just wonder. I haven't said that. I haven't done that saying in quite a long time. I just like that.
I explored the wonderful world of slow food where I work.
Yeah, right.
Delicious.
Exactly. I'm not putting down the wonderful world of fast food. I just
Because
remember
sometimes
that
it's
saying.
it is
I've said
wonderful. It really is wonderful sometimes.
that. Yeah,
But I'm enjoying the slow food
good.
at my place where I work.
It's the food that's slow, right?
Yeah, I am not slow.
Yeah.
I do try to work fast. I like, that's just, I generally run kind of that way.
One of my
anyway.
students a couple weeks ago. I don't. Kids always want to know how old you are. They always want to know the
They
stuff
do.
about
They
you.
want to know stuff that you don't
Yeah.
really want to tell them.
Oh, I don't care. No, I don't. Me personally,
Well,
I don't
not
care.
age and stuff, but I mean, age I wouldn't care about. But they'll ask other. I've heard it. Students them asking other personal questions. Like, it's not a thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah,
actually.
we got today in one of my sign classes. We did very little signing because I let look. If you ask students of mine if they're not that aware, they'll go, "Oh man, you can get off on tangents."
Oh my God, my kids know they can get me off. See, I have pictures of my grandkids, but I have my one grandson. His face is on this thing, and it's got like a straw coming out, like he's a scuba diver.
I know exactly, dude.
All right.
So yeah, so they see pictures,
But-
and so they ask about it because I have an all about me. So
Yeah.
you're supposed to build a rapport with the kids. So they ask. They also know I have an older grandson, so that opens up a conversation.
Yeah. Oh no, but I
Well,
use
those kinds
them.
of things are good.
That's what I'm saying, and I tell the kids, "So look, I understand you think you're getting me off track. I'm steering the bus.
There
man.
you go.
I know where to
Exactly.
go and when to bring it back." And I'll say, "Look, dude, we can't. I have a student in an 8th grade social studies class I'm taking, and actually we kind of started talking about this today. Everything and we're doing Reconstruction right now. Everything he ties to Hitler. Like that seems to be the only thing he knows. I'm like, dude, there was a guy,
It's a very famous person, so maybe
Homer Plessy from Plessy v. Ferguson. His middle name is Adolf, and in the reading I used, it had his middle name in there. And he raised his hand. He goes, "Is he like Hitler's brother?" And I'm like, dude,
it's just a name.
No one names their kid Adolf now, but that was before Hitler. There were way more people with that name. There's no relation. Yeah,
It's just a name.
yeah,
I don't know. Go look it up.
yeah. So today,
Your homework is.
Yeah, no, we don't do homework. So the
Well, they will now. Kidding.
they so in ASL class, I don't even remember how it got started, but we went down that path again where some of the protest stuff I did, and it started with, oh man, it had to do with boycotting something. And actually, we can talk about that too. Actually, let me write that down in case we get to that.
I have stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
boycotting, too.
And so, we started thinking about how I don't go to. I just mentioned, it's like I don't go to Wegmans anymore. After I got shot in the head, and it was like, wait, what? So then I had to go back and talk about the Black Lives Matter protest where I got hit in the head with the pepper ball and lawsuit and all that. And so that was a tangent, but connecting it to boycotting, and it's like, and so while we were getting tear gas, Wegmans was giving the cops free food. So they showed what side they were on. They did not think Black Lives Matter. They thought Blue Lives Matter.
Blue Lives Matter.
Right. So I have, I can't say that I haven't been in a Wegmans. I have with a couple of people at times.
We do on
but
occasion, but
I haven't given them my money.
there's a few times.
Someone in my house has. But we won't talk about that.
Sorry.
Whatever you do, you. I'm not.
I had no idea that you had an
don't
issue.
have to do any. So, Carrie, you go wherever you like. You can't look in a capitalist society. You cannot be 100. We've talked about this.
We've
You
talked about
cannot
so many
be
times, 100%.
There's no way. It's impossible. You'd have to grow every single thing you eat. You'd have to grow the cotton and make your own clothes. Build your own. There's no way to be 100%.
Well, no, I actually very much try to go to the local.
Yeah, you do it,
and I think of them as
do.
local. I had no other reason not. Now I have a reason.
Well,
not
if you
to.
want, if that moves you, but don't feel you can't go on my account. It's what you,
I don't go to Wegmans very much, but
I mean,
there
if
are
you
Well,
buy
I only
things-
go
if you
because
buy
they
a-
have less salt on there.
if you buy-
honestly, that's their only. I go for
but then
this.
if you buy a
That's fine.
Tesla,
And there's-
we might not be talking anymore.
and oh god no.
Well, that's what
I
I'm
buy
saying.
this in their
That
salad
is a line.
for
Yeah.
work, and that I only go in for those specific items, and everything else I go to this one local grocery store that I try and keep as much as I can there because I know they're struggling.
I can actually bring this back to the boycott if I talk
Yeah,
about
do-
this
yeah,
one.
that's-
Yeah, so
Yeah,
here, so
perfect.
I usually go to. I also do not go to Wegmans very much, but they do have their peanut butter. They have a peanut butter there that's just called Just Peanuts, and it literally is just peanuts, and it's delicious, and it's the kind that you have to move.
Yep.
You have to stir it and all that kind of stuff. But I don't mind that. To me, that's just the best taste, and it's. Theirs is like it's a good price, so I'll go there every maybe once a month or so to buy it, or every couple months. 'Cause the last time we went there, I ended up buying 3 jars of it, so I don't have to go there for a while. But mostly, I go to Aldi, which is actually a German-owned company, which most of us know. And so on the Facebook, on the Book of Faces this week, people were talking about places that need to be boycotted because they have taken their DEI information off of
Diversity,
their...
equity, and inclusion for folks who don't know.
Diversity.
And actually, I saw another version of DEI that has an A on it for accessibility.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that before.
I don't
but
think
anyways,
people understand what say it
No, they
again.
don't.
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
What it actually encompasses because
Oh, it's a huge
I think
list.
they all think it has to do with ethnicity and that's it.
Yeah, or
Well, no, they say that the biggest people who have advantage of that is white women.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and older people.
yeah,
Like it protects us
Veterans.
older people.
yeah.
So,
So anyway, yeah.
Ugh.
So anyway, so Aldi apparently has taken that information off the website for off their DEI practices off of their website that just regular people can see.
Yeah.
But Their DEI information in Germany is still on there. The German website's still on there. All the same things, and their DEI practices within the company are still within the company's. Just for employees to see.
Yes, thank you. Because actually, that I had meaning to when I had a moment. I haven't had a moment at all this week, which I want to talk about. I did see that, and I did want to follow up on that because, like, for example, and we're going to come around to this.
And I like our local Aldi a lot.
Yeah,
the people there that work there are really nice. I mentioned this on one of the Facebook groups.
Except for that one guy who won't help bag shit, bastard.
There was, saying, well, we have to get rid of Aldi now. And I'm like, you know what?
Who says that?
Just because.
Every online people just react quickly.
Well, let me just finish.
But that's because they're attacking the private companies now.
Correct. So
yeah.
The guy said, like, we have to leave, and I said, well, this is the one thing I was thinking about it. So my local Aldi, the one that is closest to my house, it is literally really the closest grocery store for me to shop at. So that is where I shop. The prices are less than Wegmans or Tops. So that is where I shop because, I don't have tons of money. Okay. Sorry, we had to stop for a second. So if anything sounds weird, sorry.
It's the same problem. I got it.
Anyway, so the local Aldi that I shop at, there are people of every color skin there is out there in the world. So there's that. Everybody's really sweet. There's definitely some people in the LGBTQ community, including there was a transgender person that was working there for a while. And everybody...
She was kind of hot.
She was cute. Wasn't she cute? I know. Dan and I both thought she was cute. Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of the people that work there are really nice. And I usually have nice conversations with people at the cashiers and stuff. And I was like, you know what? My local Aldi says kind of what I need to know. They hire people in this store that are good people, that are all kinds of people.
Okay,
and
yes.
I don't...
Okay, I'm not pushing back.
So
but
anyway,
all
I
I'm saying
didn't want
is,
to be a jerk to these people.
up until this week, right?
Right.
Till when you saw it. So I mean, who think they may be ordered to change that sort of thing? Because that's what Target was starting to do, which is where I was going to go.
Yeah. But it looks like Aldi to me, it just looks like they're just doing this to
Taking it
keep
down,
taking it down just so the government doesn't get on their asses.
Going to the radar, yeah.
Yeah, going under the radar, but it seems to me that they are still doing their own thing like they always have. And again, it's a German company, so they're going to have like certain standards that they're going to believe that are in Germany, I would assume. So anyway, I'm still shopping at Aldi. It's a good place to shop.
So my somebody in
and I would shop at Tops before I would shop at Wegmans.
That's
because they are unioned.
So there's someone in this house like really has a hard time not going to Target.
And it's not you.
I didn't say that. I'm just doing whatever.
You hate shopping. I know it's not you.
So like even just to look to walk around in it, it's like that,
I get that, but
yeah. So,
but I don't. That's probably a good reason.
And
why
I've
I don't
always
go.
been a little suspicious of them. Wasn't it last year when some rednecks down south were complaining about all the LBGT?
I think that was 2 years ago, but whatever.
And so some of their stores pulled stuff, and I kind of went, "You guys been too easy."
South, it was in the south or whatever, but still.
So it got out that they decided to pull
bullshit.
their DEI policies within Target, and I'm just like, we had a family meeting, and I'm the one who said that, look, if I'm going to Target, that is fine, but I'm not buying anything. Like, I do not buy from Amazon. I haven't had any Nike products in a long time. And again, am I saying everything I wear or buy is, pure or whatever? No, I know that. But I do what I can.
Champion isn't that great, but
yeah, I mean,
but you have Champion stuff.
I do what I can.
Yeah.
Right. So those are the ones I choose. Right. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to buy any stuff because there's nothing that I ever get at Target I can't figure out.
Everything you can get at Target, you get somewhere else.
Yeah, or buy a different product, whatever. So,
however, I will say that's not the same thing for Amazon, and that sucks.
Well,
I found a couple things that I'm having a hard time finding another place to buy it other than Amazon.
Well, I love doing that, like detective work.
I don't mind doing it
Yeah,
either
yeah.
because I think it's kind of fun too. Like
Yeah.
researching. I like researching. I'm pretty good
So like
at
I
it,
get a lot of
but-
stuff from eBay,
it's
but I
still
know
hard.
eBay's not the greatest company, but they're better than Amazon.
Right. I've
So-
started looking at eBay a little bit more lately.
So
Just
anyway,
that too.
so with this happening, and I could see. Oh, all right, it's my wife. I could see she understood and was kind of torn. I could like, oh my god, I
I
have to
get
go to
it.
Target.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But hold
'Cause
on.
it's her.
What's
She
wrong
likes
with,
it.
what's the problem with Target?
They just took out their DEI policies, so now they're not making sure that there's diversity, equity, and inclusion,
so that
and they're
it's
hiring.
not the same thing as what Aldi did. They didn't just take it down; they just stopped doing
They're
it.
doing
They
their
stopped
policy. It's not
enforcing
their
it.
policy now.
Got
yeah.
it. Got it.
So, very quickly, I went, well, and I'm going to, before anybody says anything, I'm going to talk about what's happened with this company. I was like, you know what? I've been meaning to think about the same way because every week we go shopping and we put, at Aldi's, but we put food in a food stand. And I've talked about that in one of the neighborhoods I grew up in here in Rochester. And why don't we check out Costco? Okay. Now, I knew way back in the day, Costco started their employees at a much higher wage than any other company. I think this is
They still do.
Yeah, well, it gets even better. So, but I was also hearing that they was grumbling they were going to drop their
Yes.
DI too, and that but like literally the day after I found out about Target, I did find out that their board of directors met and voted, and it was unanimous except one.
Yep.
I hope they took that bastard back out and like pantsed him or
I
something.
know. I know.
You know it was a dude.
Of course it
Yeah.
was.
So they're like, fuck you, we're keeping our DEI policy, right? And then another thing I need to check out as well, there was some workers that were going to go on strike, and they were Teamsters. And I didn't know the thing. I wanted to research that too, but they averted the strike, and then they made this announcement that they're raising their hourly rate for some workers
Like 30.
to $30 an
Yep.
hour.
At
Costco.
Costco?
Yep.
But then I heard somewhere somebody say, yeah, but it's only because apparently some stores are union and some not, that it was only the non-union stores. So again, you got to pick your battles,
Yeah.
right? And I do want to find this out, but I did go and she used to have a Costco membership years ago. We went back and we now have a Costco membership.
Yeah,
So
we're planning on getting one.
I
as
think
well.
I think I may have gotten her to cut the cord with Target. I think she really likes Costco. I think
Oh, yay!
this replace her
That- the-
obsession. I think.
yeah.
But I
Is
told.
Costco
It's the same
a good
kind of-
place to shop if you're only two people, though?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah,
One-
they do have.
I will tell you that so one of the people who was really trying to push for me, you should totally join Costco, was one of my former assistant manager at the MAG. She's single.
That's why
Just
I
her.
don't
She
join it because I'm
loves
single.
Costco.
Like, what
Loves
would I
it.
do with Costco?
Well, there is like things like
what am I going to do with a bag of oranges this big?
Well,
Right,
no,
it's
maybe
not just
something that
that,
would go
though.
bad. You could do like the toiletries,
Yeah.
stuff that'll keep.
But there's also stuff like
Put- so you
this
can
is
put in
what
your
she
freezer.
she told me about things like it's just like, oh, you know that coat that I wear all the time that you really like? Oh yeah, she's like, it was like $15.
You can buy a boat.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
But you also can just buy
I
a really
barely
nice
can
coat
afford
for
my
$15.
rent.
Okay,
I buy
Carrie,
used clothes. Look,
Carrie,
I got this for
all right,
$20.
Carrie,
It's a Tommy
Carrie,
Hilfiger,
you
brand
don't
new.
have to buy Coach. It's just an example. You don't have to buy like
But you have to. How often do you have to pay your membership fee?
once a year.
How much is it though?
65.
Yeah, is that the
Ew.
yes?
Less than Amazon.
You
I
definitely
can go to Aldi for free.
yes, but you eventually you make it up. I mean, because the savings you get, but
I mean,
on
yeah,
food.
and
for
all
us,
is free. I mean, that's
yeah.
fine too. Look, honestly, my wanting to go to Costco was about not going to Target.
was finding a
Yes,
nice
I would be
place.
fine just doing all these. I would be totally fine. But I knew that if we did Costco, that I hoped that might replace Target for her.
Oh, okay, but you're not talking groceries necessarily.
No,
though.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going to sound dorky. So now we're walking around, looking around, because it's been a while since I've been in one.
I've
And-
never been.
I used to do BJ's. That's why I used to
Yeah.
go to BJ's.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. That didn't sound good. That's what she said.
Well,
I used to do BJ's.
Yeah, we used to
Please,
do that
please
one,
take
too.
this. Please take this.
Anyhow.
I kind of hope you still do BJ. I mean, if you want to, I mean.
If you want.
If you want
Only
to.
if you want to.
Right. No, if you don't want to, don't do BJ's. Don't do BJ's.
I used to go to BJ's all the time, but you can't buy
you know
just
what I'm
like
saying.
one jar.
Yeah, have
Like
you-
you can't.
you ever
just,
gone to Chili's?
You always bought a ton of stuff. But if you have a tiny little apartment,
I'll tell you why that's funny in a minute. Keep going. I'm sorry.
It's stupid.
It is. It's stupid.
I'm
it's
just
it's
like,
it's a Stewart joke.
I would love to get a membership at Costco. I just would love to, but it's just not reasonable for a single person in a teeny tiny apartment, which I'm hoping to have soon.
Well, maybe you can come with us then.
There you go.
Okay.
Excuse me, can
All the
I
toilet
use your
paper you want.
membership? Can I have
Well, no,
one
I
of
think
your rolls
it's
of toilet paper out of your
my
100
face
box
is on
full?
it. My face is on it, so you can't. Yeah.
Exactly.
So as we're walking around because we first of all we went on a Saturday, like maybe took a
Pizza's
while.
really good.
And it was
yeah, that's what my husband's really interested. He's interested in trying the pizza.
In the chicken.
it
the
took
rotisserie chicken.
it took a while for us to get through the line and get the membership, and then there was like 45 minutes left before they were going to close, and it was still jammed.
Which
so-
one? How many are in the area?
There's only one.
Oh, it's right near I work. That's
Yeah.
why I considered it.
So as we're walking around, kind of relatively quickly, there was a couple things we definitely wanted to get. But as we were, and it was near to the checkout line, which was really long. There was like protein bars type stuff,
Yeah.
and I tend to use those for snacks or whatever. If they're the lower in carbs, the better, because a lot of them are not. A lot of them are just fancy candy bars. And there was this one that we just never seen before. It's really low in sugar. Let's throw it in the cart. We are both totally hooked.
Like they're the best protein bars ever.
Like,
Oh, the stuff
they're-
there's great. A friend of mine
I'll
has
have
a
to
membership
explain
and
that
took
one.
me
You
there.
have to tell me what they are.
Yeah, and well,
Are they
It's
what-
great stuff.
Do they
it
have
was
Costco?
two. It was two
brands?
boxes of 10. Yeah, Kirkland.
Kirkland is
Yes.
Costco.
Yep.
So
Okay.
there's
Yep.
2 boxes of 10 inside, like the kind you'd see on a shelf, like
Yep.
that. And we just went Sunday. We're halfway through the second box.
That's the problem with the
They're
good
so
stuff. And
yummy.
having lots of it, you go through it fast.
Yeah, but it is low. This is low in sugar. It's low carb. So it's not. I mean, it's
Doesn't
sticking
mean
with
it's
my
no
diabetes.
calorie.
Oh, I don't care about calories as long as the carbs. I'm fine. Said the guy who's drinking beer. So So this is my
pick our
cheat.
carbs.
This is my.
Yeah, it is
I
your
don't count. It's liquid. It doesn't count.
It
It's
doesn't
liquid.
count when it's liquid.
That's right. So yeah. Okay. No, I was gonna something like speaking of BJ's, but never mind. So yeah. I mean, so it was like again, 100. I've told my students this. It is impossible. You're gonna have to prove it to me that in a capitalist society, a for-profit corporation that's not a cooperative, to get large, like a chain size, even local, you have to exploit. If it's not workers, it's the environment, it's something. You can't get that big and be sustainable and not, because you need to, for the scale, you need to try. Now, Costco's weird. I would love to look into it. I don't have the time for that. But is their profit margin as large as something like BJ's or Sam's or something like that? Well, no, no, they don't pay their workers as much. So I would like to see, maybe they've said as a company, we're going to make less in profits and we're going to be more sustainable. And I don't know.
Oh, interesting. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Because there's
Maybe
this,
they're just banking on people like ourselves.
or a combination. Yeah.
Who will go, well, they treat their workers well. Oh, they pay them well. Oh, that's where I'm going to shop because I care about that.
Yeah.
So maybe they are on some level banking.
Every once in a
on
while,
people like us.
Every once in a while, you'll see in the news somewhere about a restaurant. Well, not in the news, maybe online, about a restaurant that has a sign that says, "Please don't tip our staff. We pay them a living wage.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to tip."
Oh, I just saw a story about a restaurant that tried that. Couldn't survive, though.
I've heard others that they might have other issues because I've heard of others that have, and so that might not have been the reason. Or maybe it was. I don't know, but
I don't, my mom has always talked about, even when I was younger, she would talk about that. Like she never, it's like, I just hate tipping. They should just pay people what they're worth.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that when I was younger because, you just grew up in that kind of mentality that no, you just tip people. That's just what
In
you
Europe,
do.
they don't tip.
right.
Yeah, that's true. They don't
Yeah.
tip. They don't tip there. But so yeah, I was like, whatever, Mom. But yeah, Mom was right. She was right. She knew what she was talking about. People need to be paid better.
Yeah.
Just pay people what they're worth. I
Um,
thought she was just being cheap.
sorry, I'm about to do a visual.
Capitalism.
Yep.
I just did.
So
did
how
one of the
can it
sets
work
for
in
fun.
Europe but it can't work here? It's because the model is different. Like, so rents are higher here, all of that other stuff.
Well, and we're American. We suck.
I don't understand. Well, no, they expect to make more of a profit here than they do in Europe, I
While you're
think.
there, can I have a beer, please?
So is it true
Yeah, like I said,
that
they're yours.
people are investing in
Not my
Europe and not in America right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That our stock market is not the best in Europe now? This just happened recently?
I'm sure, but there is a lot of things tied to it. It is a global economy.
And we are not being a part of it.
Recently, it just started, right?
I understand, but at some point, if we go in the tank, it will affect. Because it's
no.
too
I
global.
just heard recently that
Yeah.
they're saying and start investing in Europe, not in
Oh,
America.
they're saying, yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's true.
but that's fine. Maybe you won't take as much of a bath, but it'll still. If we go down, they're gonna get hit.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's
Yeah.
happening right now, like because of what's going on right
Yeah.
now, especially with.
I have to be honest. I'm just in my sense of justice. Well, I have no. I'm not nationalist at all. I could not care less
yeah,
about
me
woohoo
neither.
America.
What's that saying? You fuck around and find out.
Yeah, no, and we need to find out
Yes. And
We
it's
didn't find out enough
because I
in the
care
first-
about the whole world,
Yeah.
and we need to fucking find out.
Yes.
So it's like
What
my
would-
kid's being a dick. He needs to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
That's
We're gonna suffer, but in the long run,
Yeah,
I
no,
want
no,
my
totally.
grandkids and my great grandkids to not have to suffer. I'd
and
rather
I want
be the one
and I
to.
want other people's kids, like in the Congo and shit,
Thank
not to
you.
suffer. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I think it was Trump's comment about taking over Gaza
Oh,
that the stock market. They were like, "Oh yeah,
that
this
guy
is
pulls so much shit out of his ass.
well," because he's like just dangling. Because
He just talks shit all the time.
that's what I'm saying. It's
yeah,
just
whatever
crazy
pops in.
talk.
I'm still
Even his
glad-
staff scrambled to
Yeah.
It's that crazy talk that I think started, and I think that was what I had read.
Speaking of crazy, may I?
Yeah. go
Okay,
Crazy.
so I will get. So I am going to get too crazy. I promise. And it's someone crazy who we've talked about before, and I'll get to that in a second. But first, Melissa, I have a favor to ask.
Please tell me.
It doesn't have to be now. Actually, no, it can't be now. That would be a very bad idea.
Okay.
So I have talked about on the show recently how, as part of my campaign for city council, I've had a couple consultations with a media consultant, and who's somebody I know. I won't say she's a friend. We don't hang, but someone I've known for a long time. Always had a good relationship.
A
and,
good acquaintance.
yeah,
A positive acquaintance.
and really helped me. It really helped. In fact, maybe a lot, so much information. I don't know if I can do everything all at once. It's going to be a little at a time. But one of the things she did suggest is that, and I'm going to use the word new. You'll be like, really? You have one? Yes. I don't use it much because it sucks. I need a new headshot. And it doesn't. Would you be willing to? It could be your phone.
Yeah, I could probably do.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's,
absolutely.
She suggested something in outdoorsy in a landmark, and now that it's winter, it wouldn't be any time.
No. Yeah.
It needs to be something that's just fine enough for digital. Like if the press wants to cover me, they always ask, "Do you have a headshot?"
Oh
Of
yeah.
some
Yeah, I
picture.
could probably take something.
Yeah, I just figured we'd figure something.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
okay, so with that, this is how that was my shitty segue into some campaign stuff. So I've been, first of all, some folks I know are asking me, so how's the campaign going? And it's hard to know when you're in the middle of it, right? Unless it's a big high profile campaign and you're doing polling and all that shit. Well, there's no polling.
We don't have that.
Right. We're not doing that. We don't have time for that or money. And, I don't know, but I know that when I'm talking to people and when I go, and like last night we were saying, I went to I had school all day and I went to 3 meetings. One was a one-on-one with somebody, with a friend, Dorian, talking about stuff, and I learned some interesting things because we both run in different circles. Oh no, I've heard some things, and we could talk about it off.
Yeah,
after
definitely wanna hear about
because
this
it's
off
nothing
air.
y'all would care about. Right?
Yeah. No, I want to hear
And-
off air.
Yeah. So, and then I went to a housing meeting with a group I've been working with for years now, and then I went to a neighborhood meeting, and the mayor was there.
Was the housing council?
No, the tenants, the Rochester Tenants Union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I realized, And what I've been doing so far in this campaign and talking to people and creating my platform and just coming up with ideas and talking to people about ideas and researching stuff and buying more used books about stuff I want to learn about. And this is, that I'm hoping to get to. And it's just, that drives me. That's what I really like. But I forgot you also have to be around these other people running for office and politicians and how much they fucking annoy me. So I just want to shake the mayor. And it's interesting how these people who know me, I guess they're not going to act like a dick to me in public.
Does the mayor know you?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm like assuming.
Oh, he does?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I ran against Malik the first time he ran for any office. It was the first time I ever ran.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember that. I do remember you running against
Yeah,
him.
it's for school board.
Yep.
I remember like a decade after.
Oh my God, I totally, yeah.
A decade after I was at this.
He ran for school board?
He ended up being the president of the school board.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
I should know this, huh?
Years he was on that for years.
years, yeah.
So
Really?
he ran. Now, for those,
I don't pay attention
our
to
mayor
this stuff.
is an African American, and when the first time he ran for office, he ran and he had a platform. He called it the KFC platform, right? And it stood for kids, finances, and I'm sorry, it might be community. I can't remember what the C stood for, but he would go and stand at these community meetings, say, I call it the KFC platform. And about 10 years later, I was at something at the Frederick Douglass Center, and I don't know, he was president of the school board at the time, and they were bitching about him. I was like, man, I ran against that dude. And they're looking at me. I was like, yeah, and you're not going to believe this. When he ran, he ran something called the KFC platform, and these black gentlemen were stunned that a black man would use a chicken reference, a fried chicken reference, as his platform. They didn't believe it. And on the phone, I'm like, Malik Evans, KFC, school board, and an old
Right there.
PBS thing came up, and they're looking at my phone going, they were stunned. They could not believe that this guy would do this. And I just felt like,
And he won, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he
did win.
wins.
Because it's memorable and it's
No,
Rochester.
No. It's right. He won because he was the Democrat. He was in the Democratic nominee, and
Right.
that's who.
That was
It had
fine.
nothing to do with his platform. It was just
dang it.
no. He was because he's a Dem. Because there
easy to
hasn't been a
remember.
non-Democrat in this town who was won in over 40 years. 1983.
Dang.
Do you hear that, Marcus Williams? It's not 65 years. You don't know how to math. I'm gonna get to Marcus Williams in a second.
Okay, like that's enough.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
So it's just been interesting. I have to talk to these people who I just like. Just please stop talking. You don't know what you're doing. I mean, look, I don't know everything. I say I don't know. They just pull shit out of their asses, and it's like,
Well, that's being a politician.
yeah, well,
All I
Well,
see
that-
is all
their
I
version,
see
that-
is I just feel like our mayor. I follow City of Rochester on a couple different platforms, and it just seems like most of the things I see is, oh, here's Malik Evans talking to kids at this thing. Here's Malik Evans at this. I don't know what he's doing other than like. I feel like somebody's just like parading him
All right.
around and
Well,
going,
so
here he is.
well, if you're in a campaign mode, that's kind of, and he has people to do that. Like I'm on my own. I'm doing everything. on my
It
own.
just seems like I'm like, what are you doing though?
So
okay, great, you're talking to kids.
So in
I can
this
do
meeting
that.
yesterday, he shows up at this community meeting and he's gonna do a little song and dance, and then he's gonna take questions. And I really, when I go to these things, I do not go to make myself the center of attention. Maybe that means I'm not being a good candidate, but I make sure I try to work in that I'm there and I'm running for city council some way. But I don't. Most of the time, I talk only when I'm asked to, or like when I'm asked a question, or if I'm asked to contribute. And when I do, I say, "Hey, my name's Dave."
You're also one of the only white men there. I would assume white. people.
Last night, no.
No,
The
you
Beechwood
weren't listening.
neighborhood? No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, okay.
No.
That's what it was.
No, but there's been other meetings where that's true too, where I'm only a few white folks, and that's fine. I'm comfortable.
No, it's fine. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying in those cases, though, those are the times where it's,
Well, that too.
that you might like keep your mouth shut and
Unless I'm
until
in,
you need
unless
to
I'm
say
in
something.
the neighborhood association meeting, that's my own neighborhood. Then I live there. Then I will do whatever, just like everybody else.
But maybe
if I'm
now
visiting,
that might be a refreshing change is the person that's not out and loud and always has an answer for everything. Maybe it'll be a nice,
Well,
refreshing.
that I kind of do, but
I'm like, you do that great, dude.
yeah, I do.
You
do
got that one.
I do,
Yeah.
and I'm just saying, I do that. I did.
You
say
do.
You do?
I
Ooh, you said
I
you
did
do.
I did on purpose. It's my duty to say
but
that. I could do this all day.
do. But so you were saying earlier though. What was it you said earlier? That like you said something about apologizing or
I'll just say
admitting-
I don't know.
or you don't know something. But whereas others, but I think that's changed recently. Now nobody admits when they don't know something.
Right.
They'll make something up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a refreshing change that people might want to see now
Maybe
instead of the BS
I mean,
that they're
that's how I
getting
am.
nowadays.
I
I'd
mean-
like to see that
well,
personally.
I mean, okay, but also
I'd like to somebody
I
to
love
say,
to
well,
admit
I'm
when
not
I don't know
sure.
shit.
I'm not sure. Let me look
also
into it
one
for
of the
you."
reasons it doesn't happen to me
Instead
that
of
much.
BS.
That's not
somebody.
me saying that I'm so effing smart and I know everything. It's because I also kind of have this. I will blow my own horn here. Is that I am in tune to what people are pissed about, so I make sure I know about it before I walk into a room. Now, if I get caught off guard, then I will totally say, hey, I don't know about that. I either teach me or I will go find out. But now, because I've been doing this so long, I tend to know what people are pissed about. So I kind of already know going in what I need to know.
And I understand that, but I guess I'm getting the feeling lately that I'm sometimes by politicians or whatever, I'm being talked down to, like they know everything. Like,
yeah, they
I'll
totally-
tell you what.
Yeah,
no,
you don't
you're
understand.
BSing me
It's
is
'cause
what's
you don't-
happening.
You know why, Carrie? Because you don't understand. That's the attitude.
Exactly.
If you only understood,
and it would be
you would agree with
nice
me.
to hear somebody say, you know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
I'm not sure at the moment. Let me look into that.
Oh, that's totally. I guarantee you, when I get on, when there's a local PBS show that will have me on, has all candidates, I will give them credit, even though I don't agree with the host all
Yeah.
the time. He will have everybody who's on the ballot on. So I'm going to be on, and probably not by myself, and I'll be, and I've called people out, even the sainted city council person who's running for mayor, who's in my district, who I ran against, when she tried to come at me like, I used to be a Green, and I'm not. You're not like, oh, I know you didn't. I didn't say that, but my attitude was, yeah, and you didn't do a single thing when you were a Green. When you decided to be a community person, you left the Green Party. So don't come at me with I was a Green and that means you're
Right.
So anyway, the mayor, I wasn't going to go here, but the mayor was taking questions and I wasn't going to talk. I wasn't going to, first of all, it's not my neighborhood association and I'm there to listen and I've got my notebook. I'm taking notes, things I got to know, things I'm going to have to talk about at some point, just that kind of thing. And it was getting to and I was like, man, I really got to ask a question. Because there were people who also weren't from that neighborhood asking questions too. Kevin was there. And he was a dick. God. I know. He goes to everything.
I know
he
he
doesn't
does.
even
Is
live
that
in
the
the
suburban
city.
guy?
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
even live here.
Webster?
And
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so
He's
at the
mentally
end,
not well.
So I raised my hand, and Malik knows me. We've been doing this dance for years, and
The
he knows.
Lightfoot guy?
No, not him. And so I raised my hand, and he's like, "Yeah, Dave." And I was like, so I asked him if he thought be willing to work with City Council to redo a bill that they passed, because to bring the state law is if you want a public utility to get rid of the corporate utility and have a public owned electric company, right? To get rid of RG&E.
Yes.
There's these hoops you got to jump through.
Like
And-
Fairport has, right?
Yeah. So there's these hoops you have to jump through. And so they said it. If I was conspiracy guy, they set it up to fail. The first thing you have to do is you have to do a feasibility study. And so the
They
city
won't make money if they
So the city did this. They said, we will fund half the study if the county funds the other half, so the feasibility study could be for the whole county. But the law goes, each municipality within the county has, man, I'm getting into weeds, has to approve this, which means it's not just the city and the county. Every fucking town in the county has to approve this too. You're not getting every town to approve this. So it's
Who set up this law?
That's state law. They do this to make it hard. So
So how did Fairport do it?
they just did it for
They had-
Fairport.
yeah.
So that's my point. So I said, can you just redo this thing? Because obviously the county said they're not going to do it. Right? They're not going to participate.
Right.
So this is in limbo. Can you redo this where there just be the study just for the city and we'll focus on getting a public utility for the study? And Malik went nuts. Not on me, but he's like, I have a philosophical issue with this. And then he proceeded to not answer my question. right?
What
Oh, he
is his
totally-
philosophical?
Oh, that the rest of the county and other municipalities think that we're going to be the experiment, and then they're just going to jump on board, and like didn't answer my question at all, and totally it's like I didn't say that. I said I want it for the city, and
Right.
because he didn't want to answer it, because I haven't had a chance to look. I would be stunned if the Spanish corporation whatever it is, doesn't give contributions to, if not Malik, then to the local Democratic Party. I'll bet you they give political contributions. So that was it. And then after
Ibero?
no, that's a nonprofit in town. Ibu Derla, it's something Spanish. So anyway, that's who Tom Richards sold it to when he ran it. Sorry, that was a local reference. So after my question, because we were almost out of time, then COVID Kevin went and started ranting about the Illuminati or whatever. So it was over. People are milling about. The meeting was over, and people were still just hanging around talking. A woman came up to me, and we started. She goes, "Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing, but I was too nervous." And we started talking about that. I gave her my card, and then as Malik was leaving, he came at me, patted me on the shoulder, and he walked by. I was like, "You fucking dude."
So
I love that.
They all act like they're my buddy, and I
Hey,
just
Dave,
got
yeah,
done
you
reaming
buddy.
them out. And they all,
but we
Right.
have a waterfall. We have like, why aren't we producing like?
well, that
our-
waterfall wouldn't. High Falls
But
wouldn't.
what
pursue.
I'm but I don't understand why we're paying so much for RG&E. Like,
It's a monopoly.
understandable. We pay for we get our electricity from far away. Like
Yeah.
we're paying storage. Like it's messed up.
Yeah,
how much
the-
money we pay in the city for our electricity?
Yeah.
Why can't we break
Everyone's
this?
like that.
It's
But-
insane.
Yeah, it's set up that way. Again, capitalism.
Capitalism.
The people who own the companies give the political contributions, so the system is set up. And this is everywhere, by the way. This is not just where you live.
I'm going to cheer Trump on so that this all falls fucking apart.
Well,
I'm
here's the-
sorry.
here's the funny
'Cause
thing.
It sucks. This is ridiculous. We
Well,
used to
it's
get
gonna
electricity
happen. It's gonna fall
but
apart.
this
from
is-
the waterfall.
this is a-
for crying out loud.
Well,
Like,
no, we get.
I want to go set up
actually,
the waterfall.
we kind of do. We get a lot of our electricity is hydroelectric from Niagara
exactly
Falls.
from Niagara Falls
Right.
and
No,
Mohawk.
but okay, but
River and
okay, hold on,
crap.
Carrie. If we have a public utility, it's still going to come from there. There's not enough electricity that would be made at High Falls. It's just it would be publicly run, and it wouldn't be a for-profit.
Exactly.
And it's actually, oh man, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm geeking out on this. You got me started. So
I understand.
here's the thing: it is set into state law that our electric company is guaranteed a 9% raise in profits every year.
I know.
It's set, so they have to have it no matter what. Now, if they want anything above that, they got to get state permission. But it is set in law that they will get a 9% raise in profits every year.
And who gets the profit?
God damn it, the Spanish company.
There you go.
The Spanish company we can't pronounce.
I can
Well, we don't know
normally.
what it's
I'm
called.
just got, and
Ibero.
I'm really tired.
You're tired. And
I
it's
would
late.
Derla. I would something like that. If you have a bill from RG&E, just look on the bottom. It'll say what the company's name is.
And we have to pay for storage for this electricity. Not only does it come from far away, we don't even get it. Yeah, it's insanity what we pay.
So I mentioned his name. I'm going to bring up an old friend. During the last election season, I went to a candidate forum that was held by a local Muslim community. And this dude, this local Republican, he's a black Republican. And I say that because he just has sold out his own race and sold out his class and all that. He has said he is totally fine with exploiting workers for his own business. He has said that straight out, right? So it's basically he believes in a Ponzi scheme where he takes advantage of workers and then they eventually work their way up to take advantage of the next workers and so on and so on. So he was the dude who, when it was his turn to talk in this room full of hundreds of Muslim people, the first thing that came out of his mouth said, "Does anyone here speak English?"
Wow.
Yeah. That was I was stunned. And,
Wow.
Yeah. So we talked about it on the show, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did. We
okay.
did.
So he announced yesterday that him and some other dude who I'd never heard of, they're running for city council as Republicans, which is weird because Republicans don't tend to run in the city too much because, again, like I said, there hasn't been a non-Democrat elected in over 40 years in Rochester. Marcus says 65. He doesn't know math. You could tutor him, actually.
Apparently, from
Yeah.
one of my students gave me such an awesome compliment. Said I teach math very, very well. An 11th grader told me today.
So I looked at this into it. My first reaction to Marcus saying he's running is I was a little bummed because if there were no Republicans running, it was just like Democrats and me, or Democrats and working families. But I'm
Which
not
it
gonna,
often is.
I'm not going to get into that those weeds. But I think I would be the protest vote. I mean, people would vote for me who want to vote for me, but then they'd go and see it's nothing but Democrats. I would probably get some Republican votes. Not that I'm courting them and I give a crap, but I want to get a
take
seat.
it,
I want to get a
whatever.
seat. Right. I
Yeah,
want to get
I'll
a
take
seat.
it.
So, because I know what I'm going to do once I get there. And him running, the Republicans say, well, I'll vote for my one Republican, which a lot of Republicans did for Trump. They hate him, but I'm going to stay with my party.
Right.
Right? Even if they hate Trump, which you still suck, by the way. Okay? You vote for shit, you still
still
suck.
suck, yeah.
So, but then I thought about it. And one, as exasperating as it is fun listening to him talk because he is that ignorant. No, really. He is that ignorant.
It's important to have contrast, don't you believe?
Yeah.
Contrast is important.
And I have to admit, as much as it takes up a little bit of airtime, if I end up on that radio show or any other place or on a stage with him, which I have before, I mean, it might take 30 seconds of my time up, but it is kind of fun
salt
showing
does
him
bring
how
out
stupid he
sweetness.
actually is.
Salt brings out
So where did
sweetness.
they? So did he ask if people spoke English? Where was this at again?
A candidate forum that a local Muslim group at the Islamic Center.
Which is okay. So that's kind of fun. I was just talking to the one bakery up the street. Not the bakery I work at, but there's another
next door,
bakery.
the
Taste
Supreme
Bakery.
Taste of
Supreme.
Yeah.
Because
That guy's cool.
Yep, that guy's cool. He's Muslim, and he's just so sweet. We always just have really great conversations when I
Yeah.
go in there. I got some things.
Cookies are good, man.
Yeah, his cookies are good, and I get he has Ethiopian vegetarian or vegan plates, and I get those, and they're really good. Anyway, I was in there today after work to get one of said vegan plates, and we're chatting, and he was telling me that he misses speaking to people in Arabic, and I just made the assumption that they speak Arabic at the mosque, and I just looked, I go, they don't speak Arabic at the mosque? He goes, no, they mostly speak English. So I thought that was because
How come? Did you ask why?
I'm going to assume because he lives here and because people here speak English.
You know, it could be like third generation or something. And
I mean,
so-
he doesn't
that
have
would
an
make
accent.
sense.
Like
That
he
would
doesn't
make
have an
sense, actually. That
accent.
makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know if he.
Because if
But-
you
but
speak
Marcus-
English most of your day, you would tend to
Yeah, so it's
speak
kind
it.
of funny.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know. I assumed because I think Arabic sounds so cool, so I was just thinking, "Ooh, they probably in Arabic, and it's such a cool. It probably sounds so cool." And he's like, "No, they speak English." So I think it's funny. I just talked about the fact that no, in the mosque they do speak.
But you're
English
a politician or want to be a politician, and you're running for. He's actually the committee chair for the city Republicans now.
I would be smart not to say something stupid like
Right.
that, though. Like
Why-
even
if you hated them and you didn't want to be there, but you chose to come, why would you do that? That was. So anyway,
Wait, I missed something. Do what?
go into a room of people with
People-
brown skin and go, is there anyone here who speaks English?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right.
That is
So-
stupid.
like
So
they speak
anyway,
yeah, they're there. They speak
So
English. You fucker.
gosh.
so there's bet. I think he'll take away some protest votes from me, whatever. But again, I can. He's gonna dig their fucking grave even deeper. So whatever, that's fine. You know.
He's not gonna win.
Oh no! But another thing it will do that will actually help me. So one of the things, and this will be the we are over an hour. So this is the way this helped me, and I'm telling folks this because this is how this political stuff works, and how you got to think these things through. Is that so? Because there hasn't been a non-Democrat elected in over 40 years, everybody just thinks the Democratic primary is the election. If you win the Democratic primary, if you're on the ballot in November as a Democrat, that's it. You're winning, right? So a lot of people don't show up for it, or the news doesn't cover it,
Yep.
the general election, the local elections.
No, yeah,
And
totally.
community groups they'll do candidate forums for the primary and not do anything for the general. So other parties don't get a say. we don't get to speak to that the Democratic candidates already did.
You can't
But-
count on that anymore, though,
But
can you?
now they don't care. They don't care. There's no law that says they can just do something for the primary and not do it for the general. But because there's a Republican, which is seen as the other party, and it is the other corporate party, there's probably going to be more forums in the fall.
Oh, I see what
So
you're saying.
that actually, not only do I get to laugh at Marcus and show what an idiot he is, but that's probably going to create more community candidate forums that I will then be invited to. So I
so
will
this
be
is
able-
good for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So in a way, I might miss out on a protest vote here and there, but at least I think I'm gonna get in front of more people, and the people who go to candidate forums, the ones who care, they show up to vote.
Okay.
Right. So I think in the end, and it took me a while to process this. First, I rolled my eyes because it's this guy, and then I was like, oh, it might take some protest votes away from me. But then as my brain processed it a little bit, I was like, oh, you know what? I'll bet you more community groups are now going to have candidate forums because there's 2 Republicans in the race. So, yeah. So I
might
think,
end up,
and
yeah,
that's
working-
what I
working
need.
for you.
I think there's 2, and these things are connected. The things that are the biggest problem for me in terms of being able to win is people just saying blue no matter who. Doesn't matter what kind of weirdos they are. That's how Jose Pio got in there. Sorry, another local reference. And then
Still, I'm like,
also, I can't get to voters without
them knowing you
taking
exist.
corporate money and sending
Yeah,
out
they don't know you
17
exist.
mailers.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day, I've been the Green Party has been in Rochester running candidates for 20 years, and I still get people go, "What's the Green Party?"
At work.
Yeah.
I'm at the break room,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah. How about my friend Janet's from the Green Party? The what? The Green Party? Oh, they're about the environment, huh?
Well, I'm okay with that.
Which is good. I mean, they are.
No, but
And-
yes.
Yes,
No,
and-
but yes.
Yes, and other things.
No, but yes.
They do things. Lots of
So,
things.
hopefully my sarcastic comments made this kind of amusing, but we did talk about cool stuff, and I do appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, the sugar in the beer did wake me up because I was really exhausted.
Yay, beer.
The
Yay,
BA beer.
beer.
We'll be back
Hey,
next week doing
cardamom
something.
and orange beer.
Yeah.
No,
There
that was
you go.
what I drink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
the tire beer.
Tire beer. Burnt rubber? No. Skidded peeled out tire? I don't know. Whoa.
Well, there is fat tire. That
There's
doesn't
fat-
taste like tire though.
No.
That does.
That's
They
just
should
another-
they should call it strange tire.
Strange.
All right, so we'll be
All
back.
right.
All right, we're gonna gossip about more politics after I hit stop. So we'll spare you from that. We'll be back next week with
Things.
It'll be Valentine's Day.
It will. We'll talk.
We'll talk.
There's nothing going on in my house.
Mine either.
There might be in mine.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just me and my cat.
Yeah.
We'll chat.
It's a boy, though.
I want
It's a boy cat. and I like
It's a
boys.
boy cat.
fix.
It's a close up.
Am I getting too personal? His
name's Jack.
Meow. Did I-
He does meow.
So
does like when I pet him.
am I being lured into a trap? Because I was told by my significant other that we're not doing anything for Valentine's Day.
I don't
It's a
know.
trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. You have to get something.
Yes. If you don't get something,
I'll get her a box of those protein bars.
oh my God, no. Jesus.
I don't know. She might be. I'm not going to tell people not to buy.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, we'll be back. Well, no, I'll
Happy
take.
Valentine's
I'll
Day,
take
There's a
each
everybody.
really
one. I'll
nice
cut them into a heart.
local Palestinian bakery.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
told you.
Get her a box of baked goods.
Big goods from the Palestinian.
There's a really
bakery.
nice local chocolatier.
right up the street. Yeah.
Thank you for your suggestions. I'll tell you why that's not an option when we sign off. All right.
I have no clue.
Thanks,
Bye.
all.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
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 You got into business for profit. You're a God-loving, country-filleting capitalist. You're not going to let your serfs fuck up your groove by demanding a wage that they can survive on. That's why you're calling Union Motel. Any hint of unionizing will be squashed by our patented system. How do we do it? We monitor their social media. We put microphones in the bathrooms, and we provide cutting-edge CGI-enhanced videos to force your minions to watch that shows them how being in a union is like a human centipede.
Because paying dues feels like having your mouth sewn onto someone's anus, and not in a good way. Get a hastily made, unrealistic estimate by calling our toll-free number 1-885-668-6466. That's 1-885-NO-UNION. Union Motel. Activists check in, but they don't check out.